Hey guys, welcome to another Legacy Enchantress video. This is Spatula of the Ages. Apologies if I'm a bit sniffly. Allergies are affecting me here in Brussels. Um, so I've been experimenting with some new builds for the Theros Beyond Death format in Legacy. So far, trying Destiny Spinner and Omen of the Seas. This list that I'm going to be running today is more of what I've been running for a while, the Witch House list, so Living Wish for Emrakul, Argothian, and various utility pieces, along with various backup threats. So this list is not running in blue for Esther's Invocation. I think the fight is often between the third, so sometimes it'd be between like 3 Zenith, 2 Invocation, or vice versa, or sometimes for cutting the Invocations for more Zeniths and an Eidolon of Blossoms, more or less fitting in the extra threat slots. But with Destiny Spinner now, I think Zenith gets significantly better, and then Destiny Spinner itself is also a useful threat. With Destiny Spinner and Doomwake Giant now in the Age of Oko, on top of the fact that like Force of Vigor is also a sideboard card you have to deal with these days, Sterling Grove gets a lot better. So I'm trying 2 of those. I'm not sure if that's correct. 1 might be the correct number, but some number I think is correct these days. And fewer O-Ring effects. So I'm only running the 2. Previously I've been running like 4 plus an Abrupt Decay, but not nearly as many people are running Narset or Leo right now. And I'm less worried directly about Oko, especially since we can sort of answer Planeswalkers with Destiny Spinner by just making a fatty to finish off whoever's across the board. Still running Ground Seal. I think it's still good in this metagame. We've got Mystic Sanctuary on top of Snapcaster in a lot of fair decks, as well as the Light from the Loam decks. Dreadhorde Arcanist, very popular in the Delver decks right now. So, one thing I'm trying here is a random Ancient Tomb instead of the Second Sanctum, and the Second Sanctum is a wish target. The reason for that is it basically gives you a 9th way to accelerate a turn to Enchantress's Presence or Green Sun Zenith, on top of Wild Growth and Utopia Sprawl. So it's just the extra acceleration. You can use Abundant Growth later on to turn it into a Painless land, or of course if you have Solitary Confinement, then the damage won't affect you. This isn't exactly the Wish list I'll be running today, but let's go over it here. So Pachuca Bog I think is better right now than Fairy Macabre, just because of all the Hogak decks running around. Macabre is not that strong against them. Bog's also better against the fair decks, if you do need to go that route, and also get a land drop sometimes. This list is only running 19 lands, but Doom kind of counts as 2. It's a little bit land light, but we still have 27 mana sources, plus like Miri's Guile and Abundant Growth and Ground Seal for digging, and Living Wish to get land in a pinch. So anyway, so this list is running more lands. Wasteland, I think, is probably the most debatable one for me right now, because Depths is rather... it's a lot less popular right now because Veil of Summer is everywhere. So that really shuts off all of green-black Depths as ways of interacting. Caracas, still for Leovold, for our own Emrakul, for Dahlia, sometimes for Reanimator, or Sneak and Show. A Destiny Spinner as a wish target. That's an additional utility wish target against fair decks, as well as something to just grab an enchantment that's also useful. Teague, Pride Mage. Teague is also getting a little bit worse right now, since TES is sort of replacing Ant, since it's not as vulnerable to Veil of Summer. And Teague is a lot worse against them because they can just burn in a wish for Grave Shot. Oof is better against them. It's good against some other decks right now. I'm liking him. One thing that this build is trying, the rest is kind of standard. One thing that I'm trying is Revenant Excavator as a Zenith target, so I can Wish for Wasteland and Zenith for Excavator against the post decks, because those matchups can be pretty difficult to win unless you get like a really fast start, or they whiff. So hoping the Excavator Wasteland plan is effective against them. Alright, let's go into it. Like, so it is the 23rd of January. I think there is still will be out in paper on Friday, but it's been out on MTGO for about a week. This hand's frustrated. We can't keep it. No green source. I mean, if this was a Sanctum, it would be even less keepable. But I think we have no choice here. We'll ship a grass. Well, we still can't cast anything here. We need to draw a wild growth, an abundant growth, or a land. We've got Ancient Tomb is fine, really. So I need the 17 lands plus the 12 1-mana enchantments and 2 cards. That's like 29 outs. An 80% chance. It's probably better than okay. Then shipping and going to 5. Just would like to draw a wild growth here. Would be ideal. Wild growth. No, not wild growth. That's very frustrating. Really frustrating. Alright, well, this gives away our game plan, but I'd rather get the land drop. If this is a slower deck, that's really, Stockyard Island really doesn't tell you too much these days. Brainstorm neither. But it's probably some kind of fair deck. But we probably have time to try to recover from our slow start. It's less than ideal. I'd rather like rush out when their only defense is card disadvantage, force of will. They can go down on resources. Come on, land. Do we think this fellow or person is running force? Back to basics. We can wild growth the Sarah Sanctum and walk into a back to basics. They could be setting that up. I think we'll just be safe here. Interesting. It's okay. That's fine if they want to do that early game because, like, unless they also have the ability to finish us off quickly, they're still losing resources here. And they're running main deck Narset. That's unusual these days. And then next turn they're going to okay. So things are looking pretty bad, and we're still unable to draw lands. That's incredibly frustrating. We had an 80% chance with 2 cards, with 4 cards. Well, we drew the 1, but it was a more situational one. Let's just get to the next game. There's no way for us to beat. And Oka's going to provide a very fast clock. And we still have to answer the Narset, and we have to do it without any lands. So that's going to be difficult. So I'll take out a Confinement for a choke. That's an easy choice. Probably 1 grass. So what are our wish targets? We want a deep wish board against them. Excuse me, against combo decks, you want to go down to really 1 fast wish target and 1 a little bit more mid-game wish target. because you're not going to cast a lot of wishes against them. But against a control grindy deck, you could end up casting all your wishes. So Corsair is going to be our best backup to Argothian, and Corsair also can function somewhat under Narset. Second Destiny Spinner. Those are really going to be our main wish targets, so Tume can maybe come in. As an additional threat. We didn't see if this person is running Counterbalance, but they may be, and Pride Mage can also double as a threat against Narset. What's our enchantment count now? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's more than I thought it was going to be. Alright. Okay, this time we have 3 mana on turn 2, as opposed to 1 mana by turn 5. So that's good. We do have our Singleton Elephant Grass. This always happens when you go down to 1 Elephant Grass against like a control deck. You are always going to draw it. But we do have 3 threats, so we will keep. I'll run out the Wish first into a Spell Pierce or whatever. I don't really necessarily care if the first one is countered. I mean, it's not ideal, but I'd rather they spend their counters on the wishes. It's more mana effective for me. Let's go ahead and get black, I suppose. Gonna force a will it. Worked out so well last time. I did not shuffle. I'm going to go ahead and draw cards while I can. And also try to find another land drop for next turn. Because I can cycle the grass next turn anyway, so if I play the Argothian and play the Abundant Growth, I'm not really getting any more ahead than if I did it with the Argothian. With the grass, I mean. I could Living Wish here for land, drop the Argothian. They could have set up a, what did they could have set up a Terminus here. But using a Wish for land never feels great. On the other hand, it allowed me to do make next turn. To attack them from that angle. More than happy to either trade this grass for a Force of Will or a Mentor. Sure. Can Elkin. Well, let's see, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. That's not enough to wish for the, I'm not going to play the Destiny Spinner into an Oko, obviously. But next turn I can threaten to play the Spinner and create a creature. Let's see. Interesting that they left in Swords to Plowshares game 2. Really fascinating that they left in multiple Swords to Plowshares. I'm just going to get an Argothian. One, two, three, four, five. Well, kind of in top deck mode here. And they top decked really well. Okay, this is annoying. I would prefer that my opponents didn't get insanely lucky, but sometimes you don't have a choice. It's honestly just bad for them to leave in Swords to Plowshares. There's no good reason for that. And now, of course, I'm just going to draw a land. Yeah, okay, of course. Alright. This is ridiculous. That's frustrating. I feel like this should be a pretty favorable matchup, but game 1 we got incredibly mana fucked, and then of course game 2 we get flooded. So, and their bad sideboarding decisions paid off for them. It's alright. Bad luck's out of the way. I'll be back in 1 second. It was a little annoying that we drew all our mana-intensive spells, really prevented us from gaining any momentum. Like all 4 wishes, both Doomwakes, and none of the less expensive threats. Especially I being postboard, except for the 1 grass, which of course we drew. Everything against them is either a threat or mana. Alright. So, there's an argument for leading with the abundant growth, but we've already got 3 land drops, so that's smooth enough. If we lose the Argothian to a Thoughtseize, we can still double abundant growth, but I'd rather represent a mystery with the Verdant Catacombs. I'm not worried about having to save it later for color fixing because of the abundant growths. If they do go turn 1 Chalice, we'll go get a Savannah for the cast out later on and still have our turn 2 Argothian. Turn 3 cycle some stuff and then turn 4 cast out. Intriguing. Who else does one so teeth? Maverick. Alright. So, Maverick has a few things they could do here. I'm definitely going to avoid getting on basics here. One of the things they could do is Thalia. So I'm playing this Wild Growth ahead. One of the other things they can do is just Knight to prevent a very fast clock. Hopefully they're not on the Black Splash and they can't just go Plague Engineer here. So Knight is fairly scary, but not as annoying as Thalia would have been. I'm going to opt, instead of going like cast out for the night, to just draw a bunch of cards instead. Yeah, so that's a very fast start in any situation. Now I'll have 7 mana next turn. I could theoretically just pop it and get Doomwake. With them on the play, against Death and Taxes, I take out the Wishes. Against Maverick, I don't generally do that, but if they're on the play, there's an argument for it. They probably bring in like Aether Sworn Canonist. At least they used to. Are they still playing her? Plague Engineer is a real cause of concern if they're on black. That'd be the main sideboard I'd be concerned about. Thoughtseize would obviously be annoying. Really worried about the possibility of Plague Engineer. Not much I can do about that, though. Grasses are not that strong against them, but yeah, I'll probably take out one, bring in. Well, they could have Prelate, or I guess they could theoretically have Chalice. So, well, Prelate doesn't stop either of these guys. I guess if I randomly draw it, maybe I won't have anything to destroy, but I might want the life. It's possible. There's an argument Excavator is probably not bad against them. Makes their knights a lot less threatening. And their wastelands, I mean. Alright, so this is a pretty ideal start. Turn 1, Utopia Sprawl, into turn 2, Abundant Growth Argothian. Turn 4, whatever, depending on. We'll have seen a fair number of new cards by then. It's a very strong hand. That actually doesn't affect our first 2 turns at all. It does mean maybe we should think about whether or not we want to board out Living Wishes. Also depends how many of these they're running. So that's more annoying. Doesn't mean they can't cancel Judgment next turn. Do you think that they don't have lands in hand? I mean, we could get up a Jupiter bug here. Which gives us a land drop. Sets us up closer to the Doomwake. Probably just better to... Nice to do another Argothian land, or a spinner. That doesn't mean they don't have a land in hand. Conversely, if they have a wasteland in hand, getting a bog here would have been really bad. So that's very strong, but we're not nearly at the level where we can cast. The Doom Might get. But we can, let's Oblivion Rain something. Maybe actually the Deafening Silence. Just because if they have another Thalia. On the other hand, maybe the Excavator, because then they take some pressure off. Yeah, we probably wanted a creature. So I got 7 mana right now. It requires 8 with the Thalia. With 4 mana off the Sanctum, I'm not going to play it into Wasteland because I can't cast out under the Thalia. So I'll still hold it. Australia? That's 4 mana. Okay. Interesting. It's Brandon getting it. Interesting to attack with a Dread over into an item. I'll make this trade. Huh. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't truly need. I can actually just get a Caracas, right? Then I can bounce the Thalia or the Gideon if it attacks. On the other hand, Timeric Giant. I think I'd rather force them to a bigger board. I'll save myself the 2 life. I'm pretty low. That means I'll have to tap it again on my turn, but that's okay. 5/5. Okay. Fabric, traditionally a pretty good matchup. Deafening Silence, a lot less scary than Canonist, because it's not a clock. Also, these days we do have more creatures to get around both of... No, wait, Canonist is not an artifact, so that's actually significantly more annoying than non-creature, given that we play Living Wish on several creatures. Alright, so we go to turn 2, or turn 1, acceleration into multiple turn 2 options and some backup things. So we keep. In the blind, I'll lead with Wild Growth. Ooh, that's rough. Alright, well, that tells us what they are. So this is Delver of some kind. I hope we draw Forest here. There we go. So one thing is this might be countered, in which case I'd rather lose the Wild Growth than the color fixing. The other thing is I'm not really sure yet what color, whether we want white or black. We do have a black source, we don't have any non-green cards. Now, that's fine. They're kind of in a position where they have to use resources to prevent our ramp, because then there are dazes and their whole plan really kind of like becomes a lot worse. But they don't have the pressure so far to follow it up. Okay, so this is actually... How come I've been seeing like many iterations of Landstill recently? By many I mean like a couple, but this deck was like really big in early Legacy and then kind of died, as you might expect. That's fine. I mean, they're really not getting very far ahead in resources here. Generally, you don't really play around the standstill, you just kind of go for it. I think I actually have to get a land here. Maybe I wanted to name black, actually, because I can just push for Sanctum here. Maybe I actually want a bog, though. Do I want a bog? Do you think they use their graveyard? They probably do. Who doesn't these days? Although, no. We'll just get... We'll just get the Sanctum. I want to be able to start casting our threats next turn. And with bog, we'd have to wait a turn if this gets wastelanded. The thing about like Landstill is it's not really the deck to play days and okay, so this is some form of like the Dreadnought combo. So they're running Phyrexian Dreadnought. Well, can't do too much against that right now. It only costs 1 to manifest. But it's not lethal. So for a second I was like thinking in terms of like Dark Depths, but that's not a lethal combo. It is 12 damage though. It's quite a lot of damage. This could be a bluff. You never know. Probably not. Like if they debated playing the Scroll of Fate, it makes you wonder maybe this is a bluff. Because if you have it, I don't know if you debate, like, what, going for the Wasteland instead? That just seems a little greedy. So they're like well, not force, whatever, but like they're incentivized to play Stifle because it also works with Friction Dreadnought, so I guess it makes sense for them to also have this Days package. I don't really understand why these decks also try to play the Factory Standstill thing. I don't understand what real synergy that has. I guess you have a Scroll of Fate out and a Standstill. Is that the idea? Oblivion Reigns are pretty tricky against them because of Stifle, as well as, Reigns are kind of expensive and they have like Days as well. Presumably Spell Pierce also. Is it a big boy? Rude Slay? It sure is. Alright, I've got 1 mana open, and I've got... Well, I probably need my green mana more than arbitrary white mana. It converts, but I would need 2 more grasses, which is all of my grasses, to actually... for this to matter. Well, now, if I get a spinner, that's 3 toughness. Still need 3 more, so I need double spinner to absorb this. What we really need to do is just four. I think our only out is to top deck Oblivion Rain. Or, like if we were post board, we could just Zenith up either a Knight or a Pride Mage. But as it is, we have to, I think, top deck a Confinement or an Orain, and they not have Days or Spell Pierce or Force Will. It's all very unlikely. And it's over. Okay, what's bad against them? Doom Giants, pretty bad against them. They could have Snapcaster. Grove, they do probably have Bounce. Grass is pretty mediocre. Choke is very good. Again, we want either probably Pride Mage just because when I Zenith for it, I can disguise it. There's an argument for bringing Collector Oof also as a Zenith target pretty proactively against that little like artifact thingy. Although I don't know. It's if they just have Dreadnought Stifle, it's not very good. What are our wish targets? We got Knight. Teague is useless. Oof is maybe. Corsairs maybe. And like proactive ones. These are really our only reactive cards against them. Situationally Wasteland, I suppose. I think this is the best we're going to do. Having the main deck artifact with Zenith is going to make a big difference. And that hand has no lands, and is therefore not keepable. So go turn 1. Utopia Sprawl naming white. Worst case scenario, we play a Pride Mage and wait till we find another land. I mean, we've got the Pride Mage. It's pretty good. Go ahead and pop that now. We've got white mana. We don't need black because we took out our Domain Giants. And obviously we know that they have Daze and Stifle. So, I think I'm actually okay walking into a Daze. When they have pressure, you can't really play around Daze, even if they don't. It's often a mistake. Got 3 mana. I think we'll go ahead and get our spinner. If it doesn't flip again, we block. My other counters are all useless. They could have Lightning Bolt. Sure. That's totally fine. You can't counter my spells, so I'm good with you being tapped out like this. Let's see, what do we do? We could actually just race them. We don't need to break that standstill. We can make them break the standstill. We have more damage on board. Did they realize that? We have a 3-turn clock. They have a 5-turn clock. I guess I could have a wasteland, and that changes it. Do you have 3 lightning bolts? Lightning bolt. Triple lightning bolt. Bolt, 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 bolt. If they have less than that, if they have like 1 or 2 bolts, they can still bolt the spinner. But if they do it, they would still need 3 bolts. So bolt for the spinner. Okay, I draw 3 cards. I'm mostly tapped out. I still have probably 2 mana open. Can do something. They go down to 3 because the spinner dies, so the enchantment creature's only 3/3. Attack again, I'm at 6. You still need double bolt. And I'm up a bunch of cards. Right? I'm really liking Destiny Spinner. You know, I mean, she just creates new angles for the deck. And even just her being at 2/3 has been relevant a bunch. Like, you take lots of painting damage from little dorks. Having a 2/3 that can just like block and kill even like a Thalia. Pretty good. She's obviously really good against Chalice decks. Red Elemental Blast. So they were expecting me to bring in Estratification, or to have Estratification, I suppose. Could still have double bolt, unfortunately, but I don't see much way around that. With this fetch land, I can just play the Pride Mage, and even if I have another Stifle. We've got lethal. So you're influential enough to play another. Okay, x equals 2. That's pretty good. You have enough to burst it? Yes, but not to attack with grass. Alright. Well, this Destiny Spinner did a lot of work and traded for all their mana. If we can find their choke now, that'd be great. While they're tapped out, I think I'd like to get an R-Rain on this clock that they've got. Grass has probably done its work. I do have factories. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's enough to play both of these around a days. So I think we will go ahead and get our Sanctum here. I could have a days. I thought they would. No? Well, that does mean that they don't have the ability to just... Well, I guess they could have a bolt and then top deck a bolt. But it's very unlikely. I'm willing to jump like this to save the life. I'm very willing. Well, Force of Will is no longer an option for them. So that means... Alright, Destiny Spinner definitely showing its strength. Her strength. 2 grass is probably the right number. With this configuration, we don't have so many sideboarding options against the fair decks. We just really have the 1 choke, plus, you know, whatever random utility, in this case, Pride Mage. I think we're happy with this configuration. Reasonably. I didn't have a very fast start. This hand is something. If they daze our turn 1 wild growth and we don't draw a second land, we could be in trouble. Otherwise, we draw a lot of cards, which is nice. like drawing a lot of cards. I think we'll keep it. It's a bit of a gamble, but shipping is also a bit of a gamble. I think on average, I'm not that unhappy if they choose to go at my mana, because we do have a lot of mana sources, so we're likely to simply draw out of that, although we did not, for instance, game 1, round 1. But in general, we're very likely to. More likely than not. Jeez. Multi-4 and set GG's. Not necessarily ever, yeah. Got turn 1 Delver. What would you keep? Probably a Daze. Daze my turn 1 play. Ooh. Okay. A Force of Will. A Stifle plus a Dreadnought, and then you just draw your second land. Standstill. That's the other likely option. Well, I ain't got much. Alright, we'll go for it. Didn't find Force Will. There's the Daze. Oof, it's a fast clock. We can eventually jump the factory when the need arises. The grass would be great here. I'm gonna save myself a life here. I could have a wasteland and, you know, get some annoying tempo here, but I'm putting an abundant growth here, so that if they do have the wasteland, I can try to go for the confinement next turn. Are they gonna Daze the Guile? If they don't have if they don't have the Force of Will off the last couple cards they got, well, it's just the one card, right? Because we saw the one was Daze. I think we have to take this. We play out the Destiny Spinner. If that gets Force of Will, we can't play the confinement. We have to buy a turn by jumping. Interesting. Just instant. Alright. Sanctum would be. Okay, we'll take the shuffle even though it costs 1 life. We just don't want lands. I actually have to tap this for white. Play the Destiny Spinner, leave the white floating. If they do have the Force of Will for it, I have to play around Daze by dropping the confinement, tapping the tomb for colorless mana. Then I'll have 4 mana, I can play around Daze. That drops us to 5, we go to 2, we can chump block. Conversely, if I don't tap the tomb for mana, we stay at 7. We go to 4, 2, I like a single lightning bolt. I think we have to go for it this way. I hope they don't draw double Force of Will here. Hope they don't have a bounce spell also, I suppose. Next turn we can try to dig into Sterling Grove to take that option off the table. If they have bounce here, they could probably still attack for 5. We'd have to chump block, so we'd go to 4 and not be outside of bolt range. Oh, I know, they'd bounce the confinement, we'd chump, or not chump, we could... Well, it depends, I guess. At that point, it depends if it's a 1 or 2 mana, if they have the factory open or not. If they don't get it this turn, though, I think we are in a pretty safe spot. That's pretty good. Doesn't matter, I suppose. Alright, we need to find the second Enchantress. Ground Seal will help us with having some extra cards. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe we should have played the grass, because if they do have a bounce, we're just... If they have a 1 mana bounce, or they have another land and a 2 mana bounce, we're just dead. They're just kind of telling me that they don't have it. We're not out of the woods yet, actually. Okay, that's the worst card. We'll need that shuffle. Already got better wasteland targets, I suppose. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. 3 mana, we pop this. Oh, yeah, okay, so we tap that. Pop that, then we wild growth the Savannah and play the presence we draw. So I have a counter actually next turn for this Living Witch. We'll have to let the confinement drop, and then we need to find like a choke or win that turn. Or just find, I guess, an answer to awkwardly. Now all our lands tap for 2, so grass. It's not so hot. We actually kind of need that. No, we don't. Confinement won't drop this turn. Yes, well, we could let the confinement drop this turn. No, but then if they've got double bolt, we're just dead. What else would they have? They were tapped out, so they wouldn't bolt us in response, so they could have double bolt. They obviously don't have counters. If they don't counter that, we're pretty good. I'll just... let's see, we're going to draw 2 cards. We don't know the random card. There's an argument for Courser, but I think Destiny Spinner's just better. Oh, actually, the life gain might have been better. Maybe that was a mistake. I could have seen this before doing this. I'll go ahead and get another spinner. I'll draw a card off of it because of the Eidolon, assuming they don't kill my Eidolon in response. Alright, we should have lethal next turn. Next turn we should win. They could be like, you know, saying this as like a sort of get my guard down. Yeah, I mean, obviously got some luck there. I think it's probably something like 60% in favor of the Dreadsteel player. Being generally blue heavy, usually with like a red splash, they often don't have answers to enchantments, but you know, we don't have great answers to the incoming 12/12 trampler usually, and like Delver is also incredibly annoying. And we're a mana-hungry deck, so if we don't get a fast start, the Dazes and Stifles and Wastelands can actually be annoying, but they're often also dead, so that's kind of a balanced. It's kind of balanced out as a factor. Alright, so we got Acceleration, we got Enchantress, we've got late game plan, and we've got some backups. Emerald to 6. We will keep this. We don't have white mana, but we do have a Wish for Sanctum. So turn 1 Ponder, obviously it could be anything. They didn't fetch first, so it's probably a deck that does play a lot of basics, so most likely, statistically, Miracles or Sneak and Show. We're going to show our cards here. I will probably Zenith before I Presence, because I don't have too many enchantments to draw off of, so like going Argothian into Presence is a better sequence usually. Because you get that extra card versus doing it the other way. I'm not going to play around Spell Pierce, obviously. I wouldn't have the ability to for quite a while. So Counterspell tells us this is probably Miracles. Hopefully it's not running Narset. It's pretty unusual these days to see Narset because Narset's really bad against Oko. There he is. So that's annoying, but not nearly as annoying. He does present a fast clock. That's what's obnoxious about him. We can get him off the table now. They've only got 2 cards in hand, and then they're not really doing much. I think I like that better. It uses our mana better. We could live in Wish for an Argothian. But, I haven't brainstormed, so I'm left to, like, get a spinner. Because I want them to be able to brainstorm away their Swords to Plowshares. Like, if those are dead cards in hand, I don't want to turn them into live cards. We'll get a Land Trap here. We won't be able, we only have 2 mana, right? So we can't play Confinement, but just double check. But I'm going to be able to, you have to be able to get a little Explodey, or else you give them a chance to catch up. And they can take back over with their Planeswalker. Sweet. I don't want that. I want to go Explosive. You know what, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to just try to maximize cards here. We'll get black, I suppose. And this should be game over. At this point, we're too many cards ahead. Okay. So again, Confinement for Choke is an easy one. Aggressor Pride Mage, unlike the other one, we don't know if they've got Narset. Theoretically, you can get just tempo by killing an artifact that's about to become an elk that's hitting you in the face. It's pretty marginal, but I think it's probably better than the grass. What did I do with the other one? Doomwink? The only reason for keeping the grass over the Doomwink is that, well, Oko, but also just grass cycles better under Enchantresses, a lot better. So I think we'll leave the Pride Mage in just because there could be stuff we want to kill. counterbalance. Possibly Deafening Silence. You never know. Alright. Turn 1, Utopia Sprawl. Turn 2, Zenith. We've got the Destiny Spinner, the Wish, the Ground Seal. Hopefully this person took out their Swords of Plowshares, like a sensible person would. If they want to do a Spell Pierce my Sprawl, I'm okay with it. The 4-color builds do have a significant strain that they put on Utopia Sprawl, it has to be said. So here, if I name one color with Utopia Sprawl, there's, you know, if I name white, for instance, there's just like the Doomig Giants, they only draw that eliminates. Whereas if I'm playing Vacation, then there's also those. So like Utopia Sprawl specifically gets very spread thin against, or in the 4-color builds. I'm going to lead with the Sprawl because next turn I do want the option of like Doomig Giant or Destiny Spinner. If they've got like Counterspell or something, I don't want them next turn to be able to like... What I'm about to say is that like if I put Ground Seal into play this turn, it's really at its... it prevents them from getting anything, any of their graveyard stuff going, which can start on turn 3, like Snapcaster into Brainstorm or something. Turn 3 is when Ground Seal starts being relevant against them. And that makes them decide whether to use the their counter magic on this, or one of my main threats. So for example, Spell Pierce, Snapcaster, Spell Pierce. So because that's on the table, I'll probably next turn lead with Living Wish. Rather than Zenith. Okay, now I can play around it. In that case. Now, if I play the Destiny Spinner, it does, if they're setting up a Terminus, it does give them that, but I'll have cycled the Destiny Spinner. So, you know, we got that going for us. I doubt at this point that they've got like back to basics. I'd like to play around any maybe engineered explosives. Did not set up a Terminus. That's good for us. If they Oko the Spinner, I'm not that upset by it. I don't have any artifacts, so I'll take them a couple turns to be able to defend that Oko against my elk. Do I want to set up even more? I think I might just as soon take the like cycle the Dimwake Giant, because the Wish is more likely to be useful. A lot of these builds are not running Mentor anymore, so Dimwake's worse against them now. Alright, so that said, it's better to attack first. I think so. Ooh, no, they could have the snake. I forgot about the snake. I almost forgot about the snake. Don't forget about the snake. That could have been very bad. I'll just cycle this. Find an abundant growth? That would be the ideal. It'll do. I don't necessarily mind trading the Doomwake for a snake. We are really like walking into Supreme Verdict Terminus at this point, but again, I guess these have those cycles, so it's not so bad. I was holding on to the Living Wish because it's more valuable than the Dimwake is, so I'd rather just lose the Dimwake to Terminus. I think I might get a Courser so that I can save my Destiny Spinner for later. I still have 3 more wishes. Did Six, 7, 8, 9. Got a lot of mana. So that makes our Zeniths and Spinners very strong threats at this stage in the game. I think I'll still hold on to this wish. Still have the wish in the Argothian for next turn. I don't want to trade my Courser for a snake. That won't really matter. I think, as long as I don't have a choke out and they have the possibility of snaking me, trying to pin them is less favorable than just waiting to try to go off and get Emrakul. Or just go for a lethal Destiny Spinner, which can trample over the snakes. With Destiny Spinner, I think it makes more sense to start piling up rather than spreading out. Okay, now killing a Jace, though, is a different category than just pinning. Alright. Pretty bad synergy for me, I suppose. Although, that's not true yet, I've got to go, so... I totally fucked that up. I did my math wrong. I should have put the Wild Growth in first so I could Courser the land away. Draw another, well, hopefully I draw another relevant card. Alright, there's the Sanctum. That's step 1. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. I think this game's over. Alright, pretty good, despite, like I said, we got our bad luck out of the way in round 1. Let's see what round 5 brings us. Destiny Spinner, very strong. I don't think this surprises anybody. That was the clear standout. This is definitely going to be a part of Enchantress. I think 2 or 3 is generally going to be the right number, depending. But it also, yeah, okay. Well, this hand is literally all mana. Watch the next one be literally nothing, no mana. Alright, this is fine. Alright, got, okay. Wild Growth. 2 lands, double threats, and probably the Abundant Growth. Or do we want the grass? Toads, Forest. Humans and ants. Oof. Rough. Well, I guess we were due to hit combo. Well, shit, they've been on growth, I suppose. I'm sorry, did I? Got confused for a second. I was like, are you asking me for another card? Oh, we don't get stifled again. This turn, anyway. I will lead with this because of days, also because of Eidolon. Unfortunately, we cannot get a dual land here, so we're still stuck in all green. We will start with an Argothian. In the blind, we are not going to go get a Destiny Spinner that could just get killed by Swords of Plowshares or something and give them a big tempo boost. Whereas, like, the best they can do with this is like a blind Terminus. Well, I guess they can brainstorm a Terminus or a Council's Judgment, which at least uses mana on their next turn and more resources, more work for them. Sneak and show. Well, that's not good. Well, I hope it's a Grizzlebrand. Just got it off the single brainstorm, huh? Without a land in hand, there are times where I might not concede here, because if I draw, like, they might not actually have a second creature. It's happened before. I'll make them do it. Shouldn't take long if they do. Where you at? Toast, where you at? It'd be funny if they forgot to attack. They had another creature. Alright. So, Confinement is utterly useless against them. Doesn't stop Emrakul. Grass is actually pretty good against Sneak Attack. Ground Seal doesn't do anything. Conversely, Kazali Pride Mage does, and Gaddock stops Sneak Attack. And Force of Will. Potentially Engineered Explosives if they're on that as well. Caracas is going to be a big wish target. I definitely want Emrakul. Dumike does nothing. Cast out an Oblivion Rain are really important. My main wish targets are going to be Caracas, Knight of Autumn. Caracas, for obvious reasons, Knight of Autumn is they probably have Omniscience, so that's a way, if I'm like protected against everything else, I can wish for it to deal with an Omniscience, Sneak and Show. Show and Tell, rather. What else? Wasteland isn't very reliable against them. Goof really just shuts down Petal. It's not good enough. That's it. That's what we got. Bringing in Emrakul is another show and tell thing. Also, if they do go for like the Cunning Wish, release the Ant's Kill, we have something for that. So this hand has a lot of mana and a Living Wish. And a Living Wish is pretty good, but if we try to use it defensively, then we're just kind of like twiddling our thumbs, and then we've just like got one extra card draw. I think with this much mana, we're gonna mulligan. Oof. So this one we're really reliant on this Mirror Sky helping us out, and we don't really have anything defensive. Well, actually kind of want the Destiny Spinner to be pressure. Eidolon is better Desperation against Show and Tell, but it's pretty marginal. If we draw like an Ancient Tomb, I'll want the Presence. If it weren't for Ancient Tomb, I would probably actually keep the Eidolon over the Presence. Alright, don't fuck us, deck. Seeker Show is actually a pretty 50-50 matchup. We've got a lot of cards that line up well with them. Like Oblivion Rain is our best for Show and Tell. Unfortunately, I'm down to 2. Elephant Grass is good against Sneak Attack. And Living Wish is generally good against them. Thank you for not fucking us, deck. But sometimes you draw the wrong parts. They can be very fast. I mean, people call it skill and show. Sarcastically, for a reason. They just sometimes have really broken hands, and with force of will backup. And what are you gonna do? Not too much. I want that third card to be another land, so we can Abundant Growth into Sterling Grove or Destiny Spinner. If it's an Oblivion Ring, though, I won't complain. That's a Pride Mage. So I think we'll Abundant Growth, clear the top, and have a mana open for Pride Mage if they show and tell in something. It's the only way we can interact with their board right now. We can't do anything else. So, I kind of hope that's enough. Or that they just don't have it. But did they shuffle with Ponder? They did not. So, not a great sign. Okay, now that is annoying. I actually kind of just want to Zenith to shuffle and hope to draw land. Missing 2 land drops in a row. That's really annoying, since that was an entirely new 3. You would hope there'd be a single land there. Alright, I guess we'll grass. Protect us 1 turn against a sneak attack. Doesn't really get us ahead. Unless we find a land and we can get a Gaddock out, I suppose. Okay. Well, back to being land screwed, I suppose. Yeah, it's a shame the top 6 cards weren't lands. And we know the next one isn't. Sure. Why should they draw everything while we can't find lands? Okay. Frustrating way to close that. But yeah, Destiny Spinner was pretty strong. I was happy with that in the fair matchups. And even somewhat unfair matchups, I suppose. Dread still kind of gray area. Yeah, I kind of miss the second choke or Veil of Summer, but the sideboard's pretty experimental right now. It's kind of an open metagame makes a wish board rather difficult as you try to guess what to be prepared for. That'll be all. Thanks for watching. Signing off.